The arena lights burned like miniature suns suspended above the sand. Thousands of alien warriors, nobles, and spectators from across the Dominion shouted in excitement, their voices echoing off the colossal stone walls. Each species had come for one reason: to witness the duel of the century. And it all started with an insult. General Cale Arden, one of Earth's diplomatic guards, stood in the center of the battlefield, his arms relaxed, his stance casual. His dark boots pressed softly into the metallic sand as he looked up at the towering alien who challenged him. Princess Araxia of the Vornax Dominion stepped forward, her armor carved from obsidian plates and burning plasma threads. At almost 8 feet tall and built like a living weapon, she was the undefeated royal champion of her people. She pointed her spear at Cale, her voice echoing like thunder. "A human couldn't survive a minute against me." The crowd roared its approval. Humans were new to the Dominion. Small, soft, not genetically altered, not born in vacuum-wrought wombs like the Vornax. In the galactic hierarchy of warriors, humans ranked only slightly above livestock. Cale didn't flinch. "You doubt what you've never seen," he said calmly, adjusting the sleeves of his lightly armored uniform. "That's your first mistake." Gasps rippled through the crowd. "A human dare talk back?" Saraxia snarled. "Your species has one advantage: arrogance. It will make your defeat entertaining." "You talk a lot," Cale replied. "Let's see if your fighting is as good." That was the moment the entire arena froze. The princess had been mocked by a human. She stepped closer until her shadow engulfed him. "You won't last 60 seconds. Cale looked up at her unblinking. "Start counting." Middle, the fight that changed everything. A horn blared. Saraxia lunged forward first, spear a blur of lightning. The ground cracked under her steps as she swung with enough force to split a starship hull. Cale slipped to the side like he'd stepped away from a falling feather. The princess halted, confused. She had expected him to be vaporized. The audience laughed. Saraxia growled and attacked again, faster, harder. Her spear carved molten grooves in the sand. Every swing was precise, lethal, unstoppable. Cale moved around her as if she were training in slow motion. He didn't counter. He didn't strike. He simply watched, measured, calculated. "You move well for something so small," Saraxia said between attacks. "Thank you," Cale replied. "But I'm not moving to survive you." That irritated her. She thrust her spear straight at his heart. Cale caught the shaft with one hand. The arena fell silent. Saraxia stared at him, stunned. No one, not even genetically engineered Vornax warriors, could catch her spear barehanded. "Impossible," she whispered. Cale tightened his grip, twisted the spear, and sent her stumbling a step forward. He still hadn't drawn a weapon. "Humans adapt," he said. "We survive. We evolve. You trained your whole life for combat. I trained my whole life for everything." Anger flared in her eyes. This time she activated her armor. Plasma bands glowed bright blue, doubling her strength, speed, and reaction time. The crowd roared, finally seeing their champion's true power. She shot forward, a streak of living lightning. Cale exhaled. And then he moved. He weaved through her blows like a ghost. She swung with enough force to crush a tank. He ducked a fraction of an inch. She struck with precision. He sidestepped before the attack fully formed. It looked like he could predict her movements. Because he could. Saraxia didn't realize it yet, but Cale was reading her body like a book. Every twitch of her muscle, every shift in her stance, every micro-expression on her face. These weren't superpowers. These were human skills refined by war, struggle, desperation, and a history of fighting stronger enemies and surviving anyway. Siraxia roared and unleashed a full-speed barrage. 20 spear strikes in a single second. Kale slipped inside her guard, tapped her wrist, and disarmed her. The spear flew across the arena and buried itself in the wall. The princess froze. So did the crowd. Kale looked at her, expression softening. "You said I wouldn't last a minute," he said. "We're at 90 seconds now." Her pride shattered like glass. With a scream of frustration, she threw herself at him barehanded. Her punches could break steel. Kale blocked one, dodged another, then caught her third.
She strained. He didn't.
Her eyes widened. She had never been physically restrained before. Kale let go, but not out of fear. Out of respect. "I don't want to hurt you." That enraged her even more. She swung again, but Kale finally countered. One precise strike to her shoulder, another to her knee, and the giant princess collapsed onto one leg, breath knocked out of her. Kale stood untouched. Civil war might have erupted in the crowd if not for what happened next. Siraxia looked up at him. For the first time in her life, she didn't see a fragile human. She saw a warrior, but she wasn't finished. You fight like nothing I've ever seen," she said between breaths. "What are you?" Kale stepped back, giving her space to rise. "I'm human," he said. "But we're more than the myths you heard." She gritted her teeth. "Then show me everything. I refuse to lose." Kale nodded once. "Stand up."
She did.
The second round began. Siraxia attacked with new ferocity. Less pride, more discipline. It was no longer her fighting to humiliate him. It was her fighting to understand him, to learn him. Their movements became a dance, her raw power and ferocious speed against his precision and adaptability. The crowd stopped cheering, stopped roaring. They watched in awe. She struck low. He redirected. She attempted a grapple. He rolled over her shoulder. She tried to outthink him. He saw through it instantly. "You study me while we fight," she said breathlessly. "You do the same," Kale replied. "You're better at it."
He didn't deny it.
For the first time, Siraxia smiled, not mockingly, but with something close to admiration. "You would have been a great Vornax. And you would make a hell of a human," Kale said. She blinked, thrown off balance by the compliment. He took the opening. A gentle sweep, a pressure point tap, and Siraxia hit the ground again, this time flat on her back. But he didn't strike. He stepped away and bowed. "Yield," he said softly. She stared at him, conflicted, humbled, breathless. Then she rose slowly to one knee and struck her fist against her chest in the Vornax sign of respect. "I yield," she said. "Not because I am defeated, but because I finally understand." The arena exploded with noise. She had never yielded to anyone, not even her own people. Ending, the legend begins. As the crowd roared, Siraxia approached Kale, no longer towering over him like a predator, but standing beside him as an equal. "You changed everything today, human," she said quietly. "The Dominion believed your kind weak. But now..." She looked at him with a new fire in her eyes. "They will fear you and respect you." Kale shrugged. "Fear was never my goal." She tilted her head. "Then what was?" "To show that we deserve a place in this galaxy," he said. "Not as prey, not as a joke, but as partners, equals." Siraxia studied him for a long moment. Then she extended her hand. "Walk with me, Kale of Earth. There is much we must discuss." He accepted it. And in that moment, before the cheering arena, before the stunned nobles, before the shocked warriors, something historic happened.